So one of the most important things that you need to do when it comes to building wealth is to regularly assess your financial plan and then also make adjustments as needed. And so in this video, we're going to talk about the different steps that you should be taking, how often you should be doing them, and what are some questions that you should be asking yourself. Let's get started. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you guys who are new here, welcome. And for those of you guys who are returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I would love to have you guys here within the community. In today's video, we're going to discuss the importance of assessing and then adjusting our financial plan. So let's jump right into it. When it comes to building wealth, there's a couple of key elements that you need to focus on. You want to increase your income, cut back on your expenses, save more money, invest it wisely, and then also protect your assets. And by protecting your assets, that means having life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance. That way, if something were to happen to you, your family is protected. Now, if you want to learn more about those key elements and how they all work together to build wealth, I created a free course. It's called Financial Foundations. In this course, I cover everything from increasing your income to protecting your assets, and it's completely free. The link will be in the description below, so if you're interested, feel free to check it out. So once you've gone through the course and you've learned these different steps on how to build wealth, the next thing that you want to do is actually put it into practice. And that means creating a financial plan. I have a video that talks all about how to create a financial plan. And when you create this plan, what you want to do is set short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. Short-term is anything that you can accomplish within the next 12 months. Mid-term is between 1 to 5 years, and long-term is 5 years and beyond. And while creating these goals, you want to keep in mind that, first of all, you want to make sure that they're specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. But also at the same time, you want to make sure that they align with your values. And then finally, you want to make sure that they don't conflict with one another. Because if your short-term goal is to save $5,000 for an emergency fund, but your midterm goal is to buy a house well, then you might have a problem because saving $5,000 for an emergency fund might not leave you with enough money to buy a house. So you want to make sure that everything aligns and that it works together. So after you've created this financial plan, the next step is to implement it. So take action towards achieving those goals. And then after you've taken that action, you want to regularly assess your financial plan and then make adjustments as needed. And so in this video, we're going to talk about how often you should be doing that. What are some of the questions that you should be asking yourself? The first question that you want to ask yourself is whether or not you are on track to meet your short-term goals, which again are goals that you can accomplish within the next 12 months. And when it comes to assessing whether or not you're on track, you want to look at the progress that you've made over the past few months. If you notice that you're consistently hitting your targets, then that's a good sign that you're on track. However, if you're not hitting your target, then you want to ask yourself, why am I not hitting my target? Is it because I'm not making enough money? Is it because I'm spending too much money? Once you figure out the root cause, then you can start to come up with solutions to help you achieve your short-term goal. And if you find that you're consistently hitting your short-term goals, then that's a great sign that you're on track to meet your midterm goals, which are goals that you can accomplish between 1 to 5 years. And so you want to revisit those goals and just make sure that you still align with them, that they still make sense, that they're still relevant, that you still value them. If you find that they no longer align with you, then you may need to reassess and then reevaluate and come up with new ones. And if you're consistently hitting your midterm goals, then that's a great sign that you're on track to meet your long-term goals. which are goals that you can accomplish 5 years and beyond. And so you want to do the same thing. You want to revisit those long-term goals and make sure that they're still aligned with you, that they still make sense, that they're still relevant, that you still value them. And when you're looking at these goals, you also want to make sure that your short-term and mid-term goals are working towards your long-term goals. Because remember, your long-term goals are 5 years and beyond. They're very broad. They're very big picture. And so what you want to do is use your short-term and mid-term goals to help you achieve those long-term goals. So you want to make sure that everything is working together and that everything aligns. Now, in terms of how often you should be assessing your financial plan, I recommend doing it on a quarterly basis. So every 3 months, you want to sit down, review your finances, and then make adjustments as needed. When you're doing this assessment, I also recommend that you take a look at your net worth. So look at your assets minus your liabilities and just see what that looks like. And then also take a look at your income statement and your cash flow statement. Look at your income versus your expenses. Are you spending more than you're earning? Are you earning more than you're spending? These statements will give you a good idea of whether or not you're on track to meet your financial goals. If you're not hitting the targets that you want to hit, then you know you need to make some adjustments. Maybe you need to cut back on your expenses, or maybe you need to increase your income. In addition to assessing your financial plan, I also recommend that you take a look at your investment portfolio and make sure that it's still aligned with you, that it still makes sense, that it's still appropriate for your risk tolerance, your time horizon, your financial goals. If you're unsure about anything, if you think, maybe I don't have the right asset allocation, maybe I'm not invested in the right things, maybe I'm taking on too much risk or not enough risk, reach out to a financial advisor. A financial advisor can help you create a portfolio that aligns with you and with your financial goals. In addition, you want to make sure that you have the right insurance coverage. It's easy to overlook insurance. It's easy to say, I'm young, I'm healthy, I don't need insurance, but you never know what can happen. And so it's really important to have the right insurance coverage in place. As I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you have life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance. And depending on the stage of life that you're in, there may be other types of insurance coverage that you need to consider. Finally, you also want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, both mentally and physically. Building wealth takes time, it takes effort, and it can be stressful. And so it's important to take time to distress, take time to do things that you enjoy, take time to spend time with loved ones. Remember that financial success is not the only thing that matters in life. And so make sure you're taking care of yourself, both mentally and physically. All right, well, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from it. And if you're interested in learning more, please go ahead and check out my free course, Financial Foundations. I post new videos every single week. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I would love to have you guys here within the community. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care.